Good morning, learners, and welcome to Fluency for Day 1. Our story this week is Stormi Giovanni, which I'm hoping you get a chance to read today. It's a play, a reader's theater, which is always a good fun to read. But today we are not going to start with Stormi Giovanni in Fluency. We're going to start with another story called A Legacy of Courage. And it's a teacher read aloud, so I would like you to listen, please. And to our story called A Legacy of Courage, okay? A Legacy of Courage by Ryan Proper. The story of my great-grandmother, Rose Wiseman Linton, is a fascinating tale of courage and determination. At age 17, she left her family in Russia seeking freedom from persecution and opportunities for education. She traveled alone to America, not knowing a word of English. If Rose had not made this courageous decision to leave her homeland, my family would not be here today. Rose Wiseman was born in 1890 in the village of Polstok, Russia. Mob attacks had killed countless civilians, devastated homes and property. So leaving home was the only hope for freedom from the terrorism and physical, emotional, and economic adversity. Rose's family contacted a relative living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who managed to save just enough money for a single boat ticket to America. Rose's older sister was the recipient of this ticket, but she couldn't bear to leave her family. Rose offered to go in her sister's place rather than allow the ticket to go to waste. Once on board the ship, Rose discovered how miserable her conditions would be. She was guided to the lowest section of the vessel, where all the steerage passengers shared one room. This area of the ship was reserved for passengers who were paying the cheapest tickets. The room was filled with row upon row of bunks. The heat, the smell, and lack of privacy were almost intolerable. After a long and exhausting voyage, Rose arrived in Philadelphia. From there, she had to find her way alone to her aunt's home in Pittsburgh. She managed to find the train station, buy a ticket, and arrive safely at her aunt's home without speaking a word of English. Rose remained with her aunt for several years, diligently working in the family store. She was determined to learn to speak her new language as quickly as possible. Rose enlisted the aid of a young neighbor who was an immigrant from Ireland. They would sit on her front porch, reviewing vocabulary and practicing their conversation. Rose read avidly books and newspapers, and whenever possible, she attended night classes. Several years later, Rose met and fell in love with Samuel Linton. They soon married and established their own home in the steel-producing suburb of Pittsburgh. They settled into contented family life and eventually raised 4 children. Rose was determined to provide additional financial support for their family. Wow, Rose seems to be a really cool person, right? Rose needed great perseverance. That word is perseverance. Rose needed great perseverance to be able to succeed. So what is perseverance? Well, if you have perseverance, you are determined to see things through no matter what troubles you encounter. So when might you need perseverance? Think about it. Oh my. I definitely need perseverance when I start something new, or I tackle something I've never done before. That's definitely showing perseverance. I know when I listen to my students here at school, sometimes they tell me they need perseverance more in some subjects than in others. It's like I had a student yesterday tell me that they loved science, so they didn't need a lot of perseverance, but they definitely needed perseverance for math. Is using perseverance easy or difficult? Was it easy for Rose in our story, in our read aloud? Definitely not. It was difficult. But did she give up? No, she had a plan and she worked it, didn't she? She sat with neighbors. She went to night classes. Even though it was hard, some people would give up before they even began, like Rose's sister. But Rose did not. Perseverance. Perseverance. Do me a favor. Can you say this word out loud? Perseverance. I hope you have perseverance. It'll help you out in the future, I know for sure. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, learners. See you on the flip side.